Brussels maintained a relatively low profile amongst tourists, commonly known only as the UN and the European Union's capital city. Lately, however, Brussels has blossomed into a sought-after tourist destination, and you will be delighted to find an enchanting European city with plenty to offer. Glorious museums, beautiful architecture, excellent cuisine, and a friendly, laid-back atmosphere unique to the Belgian capital. Named by UNESCO as a World Heritage Site, the Grand Place is the heart of Brussels and has been since the Middle Ages. One of Europe's most beautiful squares, it lies in the center of a confusion of small cobbled streets and is surrounded by richly decorated 17th century Baroque guildhouses, various neo-Gothic buildings and museums. Delightful at any time of the day and week, it is especially so when filled with the additional color of the Sunday bird market and daily flower markets. First established in the 11th century, the market soon evolved to become the city's political, economic, and social nerve center. The bombardment by the French on August 13 and 14 of 1695 wrought havoc with its buildings, nearly all of which were subsequently rebuilt. The Place has since preserved all its old magnificence and its original blend of Gothic and Baroque. Chapelle de la Madeleine is one of the oldest churches in Brussels, having been established by the Brothers of Mercy in the 13th century. Excavations carried out when the church was last restored in the 1950s revealed sub-foundation walls, thereby proving the existence of a much older sanctuary. The original structure is believed to have been built by the Knights Templar, and on the foundations of which the present church stands. The bronze statue of Albert I, a king of Belgium, was inaugurated in 1951. Brussels' Arts Mountain Park is dedicated to King Albert I, and his statue stands at the entrance of the park, across from the statue of his wife, Elizabeth I. Statue of King Leopold II on his horse is found at Place du Trône, which surrounds the royal palace. This statue of King Leopold II was inaugurated in 1926, near the very place where Leopold II took the oath. The Royal Palace of Brussels is one of the most impressive constructions of the Belgian capital. Today, it is only used for state functions, but there is a ceremonial changing of the guard every day. city with a great extent of parks and gardens. Once a hunting preserve of the Dukes of Brabant, the Parc de Brussels was laid out in the 18th century as a landscaped garden. Although not very big, the park manages to contain everything from carefully trimmed borders to rough patches of trees and bushes, and has fine views along its main paths, which together with its fountain mysteriously form the outline of Masonic symbols. Considered this magnificent church, dedicated to the city's patron Saint Michael and to Saint Gudula, to be the purest flowering of the Gothic style. After the Cathedral of Saint Michael was completed in 1047, the Duke of Brabant transferred the relics of Saint Gudula here. Very little is known about this daughter of a 7th century Carolinian nobleman, but her relics are still sheltered in the cathedral. All royal weddings and christenings take place here at St. Michael's Cathedral. The church also serves as an important cultural center. From August to October, chamber music and organ concerts are occasionally performed on weekdays. In spring and autumn, Mass is sung accompanied by instrumental soloists and readings by actors. Arc was built to commemorate the 50th anniversary of Belgium's independence. King Leopold II wanted to erect this triumphal arch in time for the 1880 World Exhibition to serve as a monument to illustrate the glorious past of Brussels. However, in 1880 only the basis of the columns had been constructed. In the following years, the construction and completion of the monument was the topic of a continuous battle between the king and the government. The Belgian government actually did not want to spend so much money on what they considered to be a necessary monument. Via the king's private funding, the arch was finally completed by 1905, just in time for the 75th anniversary of the Belgian independence. Magnificent triumphal arch is located in the Parc du Cinquantenaire, also built during Leopold II's reign. It is best known for its cluster of museums, art, history, military, and motor vehicles that house an incredible 350,000 artifacts from all continents. Museum is the main museum of the Royal Museums of Art and History. The creator of Tintin grew up near this museum and sought inspiration here. Buy the book Musée en Boulet at the museum to see how some of its most famous pieces were transformed into cartoons. One of Brussels' best-known landmarks, the Atomium, was the main pavilion and icon of the World Fair of Brussels in 1958. It was designed to symbolize the democratic will to maintain peace among all the nations, faith and progress, both technical and scientific, and finally, an optimistic vision of the future of a modern, new, super technological world for a better life for mankind. Is a passion in Brussels, which boasts more Michelin star restaurants per head than Paris. People here regard dining as a fine art and their favorite chef as a grand master. One of the joys of the city is the quality and great value of its smaller neighborhood restaurants. You'll find everything from tapas bars to African buffets, as well as lovely small bistros and plenty of Vietnamese, Italian and Portuguese restaurants, all of which serve delicious meals within an affordable price range. Crossroads of several different cultures and playing an important role in Europe, Brussels fits the definition of a melting pot, but still retains its own unique character with a touch of charm and elegance. Brussels has such a variety of things to see and do that it can almost be overwhelming. For a priceless lesson on enjoying life and taking it easy, just visit Brussels.